I had my stuff on mute. Oh my goodness. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all who's tuning in. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Two Chics of the Political Podcast and the Watchdog Chronicles. Tonight is episode number 7. Who is in charge of the Madison County Election Board? And I forgot to hit pause. Hold on. Let me hit pause. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to the screen we're going to be playing on tonight. Okay, so let me tell you, folks, after the Madison County Election Board meeting on May 15th, last Friday, that is not just a catchy title. That is a real question the public deserves answered. Because when an election board is supposed to protect election integrity, enforce the law fairly, and operate in public view, the last thing we should be seeing is confusion, power trips, whispered side conversations, selective enforcement, and board members acting like accountability is optional. Tonight, we are digging in to the Madison County Election Board, the conduct of Michelle Daniels, the ongoing question of who actually has authority in that room, and why the public keeps being treated like a nuisance instead of the people they serve. So, we are also going to talk about the scandals surrounding Indiana Secretary of State Diego Morales' office, because election integrity does not stop at the county line. When the state office responsible for elections is surrounded by controversy, questions, and credibility problems, every county election board in Indiana should be paying attention. This episode is about transparency. It is about public trust. It is about whether election officials are following the law or just making up their own rules as they go. And it appears we have another Russ Willis sitting on our board by the name of Michelle Daniels, and she creates her own rules as she goes. So buckle up, grab your receipts, and stay tuned, because tonight we are asking the question Madison County voters deserve an answer to. Who is really in charge of the Madison County Election Board? And that answer is going to amaze everyone. Let me see if I can show you something real quick, because what I'm going to do for anyone, right, because pretty much what I have learned is there is no one in charge, and I just am floored. Okay, I am floored, and it's going pretty good, Karen. Catherine may jump on here after a bit. We've had a day. I had my tooth extracted on Tuesday. I wasn't even sure if we were going to go on tonight, but it has been so much stuff has happened this week, man. Rachel Christensen stepped down. I think it was Tuesday. So we'll have to come back and do another episode about that. I find it kind of interesting that she stepped down right after we started doing all the videos, but nonetheless, she did. And I'm going to take everybody over to my other account, because I have a good video on here between me and Diego Morales. So I don't think any of you guys, I don't think I went live on this one, and I caught this back in September, and I don't want to say Catherine put me up to it, but Catherine put me up to going and asking Diego Morales some questions back in September of last year, I think. I'll tell you here in a minute, because I got to get to my videos. This is my dashboard. Can you guys see that? So this is my dashboard, what I can see when I pull up my videos. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a short answer, and then we're going to go talk about the other. So I don't even like listening to myself. Did you guys know that? I don't even like listening to me when I talk. That's why I hardly re-listen to any of my podcasts, but sometimes I do. And I see there's quite a few of you tuned in now. So I'll go into the little thing between me and Diego later. If you were watching last Thursday, I kind of went into it a little bit more because his name was on my complaint, the complaint that Russ Willis filed back in February against me. So, yeah, so we're going to go over here to this clip, and then I'm going to show you some election board moments from last Friday, and then the 18-minute clip of just the difference in how certain people get treated in Madison County versus how people like me, Rebecca Crooms, or Catherine Callahan get treated. And this clip, this is at the Indiana State House with Secretary of State. This is my son. He actually went with me this day. And this is my husband and myself right here. Now, I got there first, but they didn't put me up first. And they almost didn't even let me talk because I wanted to ask some of the questions I wanted to ask. And if you notice, Kelly,
see if you do have a question or comment about the two topics that we're discussing. So Nicole.
Okay, but I want you to notice it says public law. Okay, and I get that. They were talking about a certain topic. Okay, I get it. I'm going to take this banner off real quick. Okay, I get that they were talking about a certain something. They had their topic in hand that they wanted to talk about. And I get that they were talking about B-stop stuff. But right here underneath, it's a study of election issues. And I have had, hold on, I'm seeing some comments pop up here. But if you know me, you know that I have had the most horrible time trying to get anybody to listen to my complaints. Let me see what Karen's saying here real quick. Yeah, they censored me. Oh, it gets good. And whenever you get a microphone around me and I want to say something, I'm going to say it or I'm going to ask it. It's kind of funny because I didn't want to ask any questions that had already been asked. I didn't, I had specifics. I want to know who's in charge of the Madison County Election Board, or in fact, who is in charge of any election board in Madison County.
Do you have a question or comment about the topics we're discussing? Oh, right. About vote centers or municipal elections. Okay, moving them to a different year. I just want to make sure.
Well, I don't feel like we have election integrity. First off, my name is Nicole Skylar Kapuscinski. I'm a combat veteran. I served in Baghdad, Iraq in 2008. And I do not think that we have election integrity in Madison County. So all the stuff that we just talked about doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we don't have election integrity. And I have a question. If all this stuff, what you're doing is good and accurate and true, then who has jurisdiction over the county election boards? Is that on topic?
The county election boards, they are their own entity. So they are the ones who are mainly responsible for the conduction of the elections at the county level.
Which if you put the voting centers or the precincts or any of it in their hands, and there's no one in charge of them when we file complaints, and there's not a real complaint process in Indiana, because obviously I'm standing here and I have lots of papers to prove every fact. I brought my receipts. So anyway, I am pro what's right for the people. I'm pro elections if they have integrity. I think the vote, taking everything into consideration, people working, that was one of the main complaints about the time factors. Shoot. See, this is the only thing I don't like about this stuff. So machines, okay, the voting machines. Can I talk about those? Is that on top
About vote centers or municipal elections, we can talk about it.
Okay, well, all my stuff gets wiped out. So that really sucks. But yeah, so I signed up. Yeah, I never get contacted back.
Okay.
I've been violated by the state of Indiana.
Thank you. Thanks.
Look, it
Okay.
cut me off. Because
That is
I
it.
have been violated by Diego. It gets better.
For us, I just have a few more closing remarks.
I did just want to make one clarifying remark is that regardless of vote centers or precinct base, all 92 counties do use electronic poll books in Indiana. So I just wanted to let that know that there's not a requirement. There is a requirement for vote center counties to use it, but currently all 92 counties are utilizing electronic poll books.
About the topics here, but I want to.
For you guys. But still, so they sit and they make up all the rules for us to follow, but they themselves have no rules. And then when you ask them questions, which I don't know, we'll see where my mind goes to show you what video clips I have of what and where. Let's go back over here to the two chicks. Okay, let's see this. Put this back on the screen. Okay. So I don't know if any of you guys that are tuned in right now watched any of these little clips. So I was pretty busy last weekend, which is kind of crazy. So if you didn't watch, well, really, I did 3 episodes last weekend for, well, episode 6. I had 3 parts. And one of them was the Anchor Park. So I find it so highly interesting that come Tuesday or Monday, Tuesday, Rachel Christensen, here, let me go there. So I made this little reel this week. So just an update on, okay, here it is. Rachel did but there is a commissioner's meeting that we didn't get until Wednesday this week. This is a great start for us and the properties that live on 8th Street. The commissioners did appoint Kevin Smith. Me and Catherine have a different opinion on that subject right now. She's not too sure about Kevin, and I like Kevin, so it's going to be an interesting adventure kind of with Kevin on the board. Yeah. We're not too happy with our programming here in Madison County, Karen. So let's see. So basically, there is a whole board or election board video. Let me see. I may not have uploaded it, the whole video, but I will get that up here soon. If you want to see. Oh, wait. Nope. Yep. Here it is. So mics on. So we are continuing to have the microphone issue. I'm not quite sure why no one can speak into the microphones. They got new microphones closer to the beginning of the year. I remember because they were like, Jonathan Culp helped us get them, and he, you know, kind of had this little smile, smirk on his face, you know, and they were gloating on him. And then now, what is it? We're coming up on May 21st, and now they're telling us, or I just saw them, they got new microphones, and they're the little round ones, and you can't see them from the audience. And you would think that they're on, but I think they can turn them on and off. But anyway, let's go to the clip. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the longer clip of the videos I did, because there's some good points in it. Okay, so there's what's this one? This is going to be the longer one. This is the 2-minute one that just focuses in on the two, like the what she says here in a minute. And then this one's kind of clipped a little bit. And then, oh, there's the Rebecca cam. That's what it is. This one's the Rebecca cam. So you don't see how the footage cuts out. So no, we're not going to go with this one for tonight. I want to go with this one because it has better audio. And then you can see when Michelle Daniels did not want to answer any questions. It's the same thing that Russ Willis has done to us for years. And I was able to catch this because I stayed home working on a couple different projects. But anyway, I caught this. You can see Rebecca right here. She's holding her phone. And this right here is Ken from the Herald Bulletin. These are some poll workers. These were some ladies from Elwood waiting on. They wanted to know about the close call race over in Elwood between, I can't think of the one lady's name, but I know Lisa Hobbs won it by 2. Congratulations on that. The Madison County Election Board is over here doing their thing. This right here is Heather. You'll be able to hear Heather a lot in the video. Tim Lannon is right here. Michelle Daniels. This is Linda Smith. And this is another woman who works in the clerk's office. And I can't think of her name right now. We may hear it in this video. But I'm going to go ahead and let this play. It's about 18 minutes. So grab your popcorn, go to the bathroom, whatever you got to do. For those of you that have already watched it, and then tune back in so we can talk about what we're looking at here. Well, here we go.
This is what the voted ballots are about to go into.
We just scanned all the valid ballots, and Sue ES&S going to run a report soon. We should probably be in about, what do you think, maybe, because we have to wait 10 minutes, right? At least 10 minutes. We have to wait 10 minutes for this doll, for the machine to sit here, and then it won't take 2 minutes to run the report. We're going to post it outside the election board room, and IT is aware. We're going to give them information. They will put it on the election board site. If she talked to
Your report. What do you mean? Well, no, it's going to be.
I'm going to pause it real quick. So basically what we're watching is, I'm just going to break it down to you so you know. Okay, hold on. 6 puppies is actually set. Okay, puppies. This one down here that has the mullet that works in the down here. I don't know if you can see me circling the head or not, but it's the one behind the guy in the brown jacket, and she's got the mullet. She's been there the longest, I think, of all the employees, and she may even be the manager of the clerk's office on the second floor. And her name might start with an A, but I don't know if I'm right or not. And I do have the CC on. That's one thing I like about YouTube. So if you can't hear it, and that's the same problem we have on all of them. Yes, puppies with the black hair. But you will be able to read the screen, and I'm going to slow it down, but basically Michelle Daniels says they're not going to answer any questions. She acts really smug about it. Then she says it's against the law, which it's not. Maybe while we're talking, I will pull up what I was sent this week about that statement. And it's not against the law for them to answer questions. She just didn't want to answer questions, and she's not very good at answering questions. And I really can't stand that. That's the people that Kelly Hewer, this is the person right here that Kelly Hewer gave power. You can't see it. Can you see that, guys? The Michelle Daniels is the one. Let me see. I'll do it that way. Nope. Okay, I'm going to push play.
Printed, scanned, and
This
emailed
one.
to him.
Kelly Hewer gave Michelle Daniels so much power, it's not even funny. And she doesn't even have a freaking law degree. It just blows my mind. And she's going to take questions from Ken, but she won't take questions from Rebecca.
Okay, so this one right here is number 140568, and this is for the valid ballots. Valid ballots. We're gonna put that right across that,
This takes about 10 minutes.
and then
This takes about 10
zero,
minutes.
zero.
And then after that, we'll have the results, the official results. We're going to post them outside the election room, and IT is going to have it, I would say, within 15 minutes.
Maybe not that quickly.
Maybe not that quickly. As soon as we give it to them, they're going to put it on. We'll give it to them.
But they'll be posted upstairs in about 15 minutes?
I'm not sure. That's
I'm
up
not
to,
sure.
that's up to Sue.
Well, this takes 10 minutes for it to do what it has to do, and then we'll have the results.
Okay, so 5012 is going on the not counted ballots. Not counted ballots and envelopes. I'm gonna put that right across there. And then 505 is on the counted envelopes. Counted envelopes. That's on there. And then, last but not least, 5015 is the duplicated not valid ballots. Duplicated not valid. And then I will have, we will also go ahead and do this as well. This one, sorry about that, ma'am. 0706626076. This is about to go on this blue bin right now. We're gonna put the results inside of there.
Okay, to that bin.
And then I will need you guys to sign off on that.
So apparently I missed Ken getting to ask his question, but he has definitely left the room at this point in this video. He's not standing beside Rebecca anymore. And she started raising her hand.
Yes, we're going to take that. Yes. After we adjourn, we're gonna take this. This is a process that can't be interrupted unless the state will allow it.
So there's that. I have a green key somewhere. I'm gonna lock it up as well. So if you guys would be ever so kind to sign off on that for me, that I did that process.
Okay, so I'm here on Democrat.
It's media. Media, we always answer the media, that's it.
Oh, did it?
That's what I
I
said,
forget to do that.
media. You're gonna be able to ask your questions, but we have to get this done. No, I didn't answer. What I did is I clarified something I had said
Okay,
earlier.
there was the
about
date right
time
there.
and tape.
That's all right. It was already.
Clar- All I know is that somebody asked how long
Okay,
it
so
would be. I thought it was
and
him,
that is good.
but I'd said that earlier, so I was clarifying.
It was neat.
Trying to be right.
Well, here, since you.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. For real. All my goodies. Okay. And then this is our zero tape, right? I need that. Yes. No dying allowed, Heather. Okay.
Okay.
Your work is done up here for now. And I'm not positive if there's anything else you guys have to do,
Well, I'm
so.
just gonna have a seat and make sure that.
Okay.
We'll just wait till the end.
Perfect.
I'm not, Rebecca? Yeah. I'll take your questions when we finish this process, but I do not want to take questions now. I don't know what the code number is. I don't know what it is. I know it allows us to, if we want to take a question, this is a. Most election boards do not take questions. We will take your question. But we want to get this process done. And then we'll take your questions.
Why not, unless we need them to help us get up? Hey, I mean, unless we need the DNR to accompany us up with. Okay. You guys wanna accompany us upstairs? Unless they're ready to leave. Okay.
I'll get you that. Might not be today, but I'll get it for you.
Thank you. Do you need to change the word to official on that? Do you need to change the word to official results at the top?
I will, once they look at it.
Okay. Do you need,
Never change it until they.
do you need a stick from me? Because I don't, who wants to put all the results on? Or do you just want to know that later? But they have to sign off on it, then, so you're printing them anyway. We can do the stick. Well, that, do you want me to go grab it then? Well, you tell me. I'll run upstairs and go grab it.
Okay, here comes the attorney. This is kind of funny. I think that's Kane. Kane.
Counting is officially done, correct?
I'm double back feeding. Sorry, guys. I gotta I gotta push mute on my other video.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting of May 15th, Madison County Election Board.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
I will announce that all the motions we made in terms of accepting or rejecting the ballots today were made after a proper motion is seconding, and they were all unanimous votes to either accept or to deny. Oh, so
So is that, Phil, is that Mr. Kane? The gentleman that came up here?
Yeah, catch that.
So, I know. So, we need,
When did he know
Attorney.
who the attorney was?
was this guy here for Jeff?
yes, I didn't even know, or we would have had him.
This
up
I
is-
here.
saw Evan back there, but I thought he was.
We didn't know you were here for us today. But
We're
thank you
adjourned.
for
Came in
coming.
late.
Okay.
Jeff and I were
Just-
under the
okay.
impression that it was
It's code
starting at 2.
5-14.
So I apologize for
Go
that.
ahead.
That's okay. Just an FYI, I did not put official until you look at these yet. Then I will change.
See, did you catch it? Let's go back a little bit. Did you catch that? So they, or Michelle Daniels here, Miss Thing, didn't want to answer questions while the meeting was going. And here's the other thing. If you ask questions during these meetings, I'm pretty sure it goes into public record. It goes on to public record that you ask these questions, okay? So if they're not letting us answer these questions, they don't have to put it on public record that anyone spoke, yada, yada, yada. But my favorite part of what just happened here was they knew that a question was going to be asked and they cut the feed off. They didn't have to cut the feed off. I don't know why they cut the feed off. It kind of concerns me a little bit because these guys, oh, here goes my husband. He's cutting down a tree. Hold on. Shut my window. Okay. Now I don't know where I was at because I didn't want that back feeding into the microphone. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and let this play. Oh, I know. Because it cuts off, and then I had to go over to Rebecca Kroom's cam. So that's what you see here is the camera's getting ready to switch, and then we're going to be on Rebecca Kroom's cam because the courthouse cam, and I'm not sure who this lady is right here, but whoever works the cameras controls like the sound. And every time I see her up here, I don't think she knows what she's doing. So I'm going to have to put that in the comment box. They need to get somebody that can run the sound system in these chambers so that we can hear them at the meetings and it's uniform across the board. But here we go. You're going to see it. Courthouse cam cuts off. Rebecca cam picks back up. See? Bam. And Krooms.
Well, this is what happened. Somebody evidently hit the wrong exit and the card came out like that, right? So that's a blank card.
So they put it back in and then they're allowed to vote.
No, they went over to the machine.
Well, then it rejected it.
Okay,
And then they got the vote.
okay. So on the count,
No,
on-
it's not counted. in
no,
that.
no, I know.
Actually,
I understand that.
the machine comes in.
I wasn't making myself clear. So on the website, when it has the count that you have 6 blank ballots,
That means that somebody didn't vote at all on it, yes. And you are allowed by law in the state of Indiana to cast a blank ballot.
To declare your party.
And why they
that.
do that
You
is
declare the
because
party.
they want to show that they did vote in
You're the
the
mayor.
primary.
Oh.
But they didn't vote for independent.
so you can put your ballot in there. Okay.
When you go R or D.
Right,
And then, of course, you gotta do your sign.
Right, right.
Stuff like that. Put your ballot in the machine, but you don't have to vote for anybody. But it shows that you voted for the primary, so you can vote in November for the election.
well, I was just trying to clarify how it showed up, because somebody in the poll said that the counter,
On election day, if the ballot doesn't get scanned, then they're allowed to take it back and re-vote on it until they voted something on that ballot.
yeah, I understand that part. But you're also saying that on election day, if they just put it in the machine and hit, what is it to get it? Yeah,
It prints no selection, no selection.
okay,
That's a blank ballot.
that's a blank ballot also. So you got two types of blank ballots.
Well, that is voting for nobody. A blank ballot is just a ballot card that nobody did anything with it. They hit the exit and it came out of the machine and they didn't do anything.
Gotcha.
Okay?
That's all I wanted to know. Thank
There's
you.
two different types. And that's
See, they
not
didn't-
really- That's not really a blank ballot. What they did is they accidentally hit exit, which Christie can attest to, that you have a lot of, yeah. Put it back in the machine and explain to them not to touch that red X.
Right. But see, that person had made it over there, did not know it. If they went to the counter, and it's then when they realized that they had not messed it up, but they had not voted. So there's two types.
That's why I tried to explain clearly to the voters so they understand not to touch the red X because the ballot got blank.
Well, everybody needs to know that, but they may have done it accidentally. But that's all I was trying to clarify.
It's caught a lot. It's caught on election day every time. During satellite or early voting, it's not caught as much because if the people, if they're not explained to, like Christie goes and explains to them, don't hit that red X. Make sure that there's selections on your ballot. Then sometimes we get them through. We try to catch it when they come to the courthouse. There's not too often, but I don't know what it's like.
Well, they had 6 on the website. They said they had 6 blank ballots.
Yeah, and there will be.
Yeah.
There's more than that. There's 46 of them.
Okay. I gotta find out what the code was that they're not allowed to take no questions by law. But I'm getting ready to go. I'm tired. Well, gang, it's been real. No, honey, that's all. Yes, I just have one about those blank ballots. Thank you. All right, Facebook, bye. They're adjourned, but they still talking to me. But that's the way we do it down here. Okay. I'm getting ready to go, y'all. Let me turn this phone on.
Okay, so let's go over here. Okay, so after that, we've been studying this week on what law was she talking about, right? Like, what Indiana law says that she doesn't have to answer questions during the meeting, or she gets to control it however she wants. And it doesn't matter if we want to go complain about how they do things, there's no one to complain to. And then the person who is in charge of the elections just happens to be friends with Linda. So Diego Morales, Linda Smith, he favors her on so many different levels. And right now, though, their little empire of dirt is crumbling. And we'll go on to that one here in a few minutes. But some news broke this week about Mr. Diego. Another little scandal popped up about him, and we'll look at some of the news articles here in a second, but this was sent to me. So Indiana law does not prohibit an election board from answering questions during a public meeting. while the Indiana open door law, Indy, whatever, Indy.gov, guarantees the public's right to observe and record official meetings, which we get in trouble for that all the time, but we still record. It does not mandate that the board must allow attendees to speak or ask questions. I'm sorry. I think out of all the boards that we have, we should be running that particular meeting, hearing, or event, like polling. And here's another something somebody brought up about we shouldn't be paying for the Republicans and Democrats to have vote, like the primaries. The taxpayers shouldn't be paying for that. If they should be having their own votes, doing their own races. This way, they don't want to listen to us anyway, so it doesn't matter who you vote for. In a lot of cases, if they're not going to let us answer questions, and then it starts back there at that board. Wait, where'd it go? These guys, I'll get them when they're sitting. So a lot of things are left up to Tim Lannon is the only one that has a law degree up there. Linda Smith, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think about her anymore. After doing my own election, she kind of grew on me a little bit. So, and I do like her staff. The lady, somebody sent me a message, told me it was Linda. Or wait, what'd you say? I don't want to butcher it. Lori. Her name's Lori. I don't want to call. Sorry. I was going to give her a nickname, but I like her. So Lori over here. I like her. I like Linda. But Michelle is like, I don't even know what to think about her. I showed you guys the one funny. Wait, let me finish this one. However, if a county election board, go back to the screen. If a county election board chooses to host a public comment period or allows attendees to ask questions, answering them is at the board's discretion. No, it's at Michelle Daniels' discretion. And I don't even think she understands questions sometimes. If you see some of the clips I have, and this one I'm getting ready to show you guys here in a minute that I showed last week, but we may have a couple more viewers on this week that hasn't seen the clip. But I've been trying to file complaints about Russ Willis and Kenneth Hodson for 5 years. And finally last year, was it last year, 2025? Yeah, 2025. Russ Willis steps down. We get Michelle Daniels, and they finally answered my complaints after 4.5 years and said they were moot. I don't know about you guys, but I think election complaints shouldn't be moot. I think they all should. And I believe the state law says they should be investigated too. So let's get on here. I got a lot of good reels that get to stay up because I don't always do lives. I upload them later. Here's the one with Mikhail, with the sneaky snake. Here's Russ Willis measuring the shoot, 2024. I got all kinds of good stuff, you guys. But I'm looking for the one where Michelle Daniels I call it crank anchored me because she wasn't supposed to call me. She was calling the attorney and dialed the wrong number. So that doesn't tell you what we're dealing with here. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But she called me, which alerted me to the fact that they were going to be having a hearing about my case. Oh no, the hearing was about spending money, and I showed up. No, was it the complaint process? That was it. The complaint process about the complaint process, and they said they were going to work on it. The link's still broken. 6 months later, almost a year later. Okay, I'm getting close. See, I did this and signed a little smiley face, and they took down the computer application to file complaints. And this was only up for a couple days. And Hava says they're supposed to have a functioning election complaint process, and they do not. Man, I thought I was going to get closer to it. It must be far down in my real bank. I think one of these days Facebook's gonna cut my feed, or they're gonna make me start paying for all these videos that I got stored in here. I'm getting close. I'm getting super close. Yep, we got like 29,000 plus. No, actually, it's over 30,000 now in the groups. This is one of our first 2 million views. Okay, I'm gonna play it.
Cause we're gonna be legends, gonna get their attention. What we're doing here ain't just scary, it's about to be legendary.
Okay, that was our first 2 million views. We've hit over 5 million views between all of us now. It's kind of cool. We just teamed up together and got the information out. Here is Ranny Wells. I've been following the water stuff along White River. If you guys are interested, you can come see some of that. And I was right. The interceptor project broke, and they didn't finish it until March. Oh, see, this is okay. I'm sorry. This is when we. So much fun. You take that Aaron Brock bitch. You would mess with him. And we would both have and then the rest is history. Well, not really. Now we're doing the data center stuff with her. We're still working on the water. And speaking of which, EPA is supposed to call me soon to talk about it. So hopefully I'll get the phone call in the next week. Or I didn't miss it. Hopefully I didn't miss it. Okay, I swear, guys, I'm getting close. And if I passed it, is it all the way down there? I probably should have went to my YouTube channel and I probably would have found it. Ellick water. You want to know what's going on in Ellick? Okay. Memory lane, folks. It really is a funny video. Okay, I'm here. All right, because I recognize the little ninja. Yep, right there. Okay, so basically in this little clip I'm going to show you right now, Michelle Daniels called me and tipped me off that they were going to be having this hearing. So
John, hi, it's Michelle Daniels with the Election Board. I started to text you a bunch of stuff, but it got to be so long. I thought, this is ridiculous. I need about only 5 minutes of your time, but it would have been the email and texts, but it was just too much. Because I want to tell you how I want, how I think that what the best way to approach this. I want to see what you think. So I'll be here all night, and if you want to call me tomorrow, it's fine. My number is 765-425.
anyway, that's the woman they put in charge of the Madison County Election Board. And you can't tell me that she's got all her wits about her. I responded to her because I was so mad after she called me. Oh, I was so mad. And I sent her this text message and said, if she's not going to give me a hearing, I don't want to hear from her. And I actually have an album. Yep, that's where we're going. See, I love how that works. I'm going to show you an album here in a minute. Here is when I started. I think I started tracking the election board complaint process before this. Let me see what it did here. No sound. Yeah, so this was, just give me a date. So over a year ago. And I have pushed the election board to make a pretty cool website in the past year. So you're welcome. I've tested them on I've tested these people. And I'm not in jail. I'm not in trouble. But we have a way better website today than what we had when I started. I can tell you that. Okay, here it goes. But if you look at even this, they finally put on the website that it's under construction. I think they have people watching all my stuff. And then next thing you know, they have under construction sign, which I'll pull that up in a minute. Okay, well here, thing that made me mad about this one. Okay, so there was 2 meetings, if you didn't know. There was one April 17th, 2025, and then there was, and I wasn't at this one. I don't think anybody was aware that they were even going to have this meeting except for like Rebecca and newspaper. Jeff Graham's right here.
Open your eyes.
But I didn't remember this. I did show up the next round. I did show up the next round, right? And I thought for sure, because she had called me the night before and we had this conversation, I thought it was an okay conversation, but she said she was going to let me speak because I was going to put in the complaint process about the complaint process. 5 years is way too long to get a complaint answered. Yeah, so May 15th, 2025, this is me back here in the back, and I swear they didn't let me speak. Did not let me speak. It was quite sad. And right before that, I'm going to make I don't want to lose my space there, so I'm just going to make a new Facebook tab, and we'll share this one instead. Okay. Okay, this is my photo albums. So the one I'm going to be looking for here is going to be April. Right? The M.C.E.B, but there's a complaint. Some of these albums are not public anymore. Okay, nope, not that one. I put in a lot of complaints and then I follow them. I let the public help follow them too. I think it's important for accountability and transparency. Here it be. I don't know if you guys can read it. Did we determine that last time? Okay. So really, this I got April 25th, 2025. So I started filing complaints back in 2020. And it took us, well, I don't even know how you want to, but Russ stepped down because I had just sent this mega whopper of a complaint. Catherine sent in a complaint. I think Ollie Dixon had a complaint. And I think Rebecca Kroom still had a complaint on the table. They didn't listen to any of them. And he stepped down and we got a new, I don't even know what to call her. She's supposed to be the president of the Madison County Election Board. But Kelly Hewer put Michelle in there. And then this right here. So she got my number, or she must have been looking at this paper or something to do with this lawsuit when she accidentally called me. They did send it to me certified mail. But if you go in here and you read what they're saying, they say that I'm right. Even my codes, he even compliments me in one section about what I'm saying, but they ruled without going into court. I mean, because, it costs money to sue people, and I'm so over suing people. That's why I ran for office. I'm going to run again. I think it's funner to do the election stuff than it is to stay in a courtroom and bicker. I mean, that's like, no, I don't want to be upset and stressed out every day over this crap. Okay. So they know that I quote good law and I'm right, but they don't do anything about it. And that is the sad reality that I live in with these people. And so I have went all the way up the chain of command to Diego. And so that's why that clip that I showed you of me asking who's in charge was basically the climax of, oh my gosh, it's not okay. Aaron Brockovich taught us Superman wasn't coming with the water environmental issues. And I have learned that Superman is not coming for our election issues. President Trump's not coming for our election. Nobody's coming to save us, you guys. So we have to hold these people accountable. Sadly, it seems like some of us do it more than others, and okay, so be it. But we need more support because this is just crap. So I highlighted a couple things. They want to talk about it. No, they told my statutes of limitations to even be able to file is what they did. So by acquiesce, the Madison County Election Board, the Republican Party in Madison County, the Republican Party in the state allowed a Democrat to attack me. And from 2020 to 2022, they did nothing about it. Nobody, I couldn't get anybody to press charges. And trust me, I tried. It's, yeah, show the laws. Anyway, so M.C.E.B concluded that those matters were from earlier complaints, and they keep regurgitating this about the dispute. They keep saying the same thing that Russ Willis has said. It was handled in the lawsuit in 2022, and I can assure everyone the election complaints were not handled in my 2022 lawsuit. I wouldn't still be here trying to stand my ground 10 toes deep on these people if we settled this. If I had a piece of paper that told me how any of this was legal, I would not be here still talking about it. And yeah, they're not correcting anything. And so then I'm on to different things. So Brad King, I filed and I was mad. I'm still mad about this one too. They gave, sorry, wrong screen. They gave Linda, okay? They gave Linda an award. What did they give her an award for? Now they say whatever, they can say whatever. This is Madison County Republican Party. But Brad King just stepped down. Why'd Brad King step down? You know, okay, fine. And if Linda Smith is the best clerk in the state of Indiana, then let me tell you, folks, we're screwed. Indiana's screwed if they consider her the best one. And then Brad King stepping down, that was a milestone. But getting Diego Morales, he almost stepped down today. Hold on. I got a dog issue I got to tend to. Just hold on real quick, or she's going to keep barking in the background. Okay, sorry. Okay, so anyway, Brad King and them gave her an award. See what she's saying. Karen's over here. And why should they? See, I don't even know what these guys are doing. I mean, it blows my mind. Okay, so looks like I had more to point out here. Oh, okay, I'll show you where it says moot point. They call it a moot point. So election crimes in Madison County were declared moot. The cost to you is unfortunate, but the issue of Hodson running was addressed and noted in the past board meetings. No, it was not. Like, I do not know why these guys keep lying. show me where this was discussed in a board meeting. It wasn't discussed. Oh, and if he's referring, okay, let's see, where would I? That's me. Ooh, I wonder, okay, Russ Willis was down here. Let's see. I do have him on a clip on the reels. I can't find it here in a few minutes, then we'll go on. Here, this is what I'm looking at, so you can pretend like you're scrolling with me. It's when I wasn't turtle enough for the Women's Republican Club. And I wound up being right, too. That's the other issue. And because of what they did, what is this one here?
The candidate will get people to sit at their table, they'll collect them from them. And
that's when he was fibbing about the money that he collected. Oh, I got so much good stuff, you guys. Really, a lot of meat and all. Let me see if I can find it on my YouTube. We'll stay the course. I feel like we're almost there. That'll take me a couple more minutes on my YouTube channel too. It doesn't always pop up. Bingham Square was a big deal. Archer, this is one of the guys that got left. The city turned off their power and heat right before the first snowstorm. We are so close. Oh, Larry Savage and the missing ballot. And I know he's been talking about me a lot lately. And he don't want me to talk about him back. It'll hurt his feelings. And I like his wife, so that's that. Here we go.
to the record. The complaint that we have is referenced, let me find the previous minute. Okay, this is a second complaint regarding a residency dispute with Kenneth Hodgson, who was a Madison School Board candidate. And we dealt with that at the July 8th, 2022 meeting. And the complaint was determined that it is not an election board issue. That complaint was actually resolved in the court a couple of weeks before that July meeting. So this is a repeat complaint. We will not be acting on it. And we will notify her of that.
So this is also an open door violation because I was not given due process to hear my side of the case. If they would have allowed me due process, then I could have corrected him right there and told him that he was wrong. But what they've done is they have continued this lie into 2025. And they're going, you know, that's where they want to stand. And that's not cool. So basically, they have helped Kenneth Hodgson break the law. And there's no telling how many other people they've helped break the law. And just, and in all honesty, we don't know because we only know what we catch them doing. So then they're acting like, you know, oh, thank you about this complaint process, but then they don't let me in the room to hear it or to help even speak on it. Nobody was allowed, not just me though. Like they said that they were going to have the public come in and they were going to help them write this complaint process, and they didn't. They take it back behind closed doors. I'm going to stay on this for a few more minutes. Then I'm going to go over and show you what the complaint process looks like. And then we're going to hop into the state of Indiana because I want to talk about Diego before I get off here tonight. So they have no proof. Stuff is falsified. Your points as to improving the complaint process and the timeliness are spot on. They're not just spot on. I gave Indiana code. Indiana code says they have 90 days to respond. 5 years is way too long. And they only responded then because they thought I was gonna leave them alone at that point, and it made it worse. They should have just left it be and not responded at all, because they gave me some good ammo. So, receipts, man. All right, so let's go over into share the screen. Madison, this might even be it. I was playing around with this earlier. Come on. Okay, Madison County Election Board. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to take these comments off for a minute. Okay, Karen, see you later. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to turn these comments off. So here we are, Madison County Election Board. And here we are. This is 2026. Okay, under construction. Now there's a clip that I don't have. I didn't go back to the meeting and clip it out. I probably should. Maybe I will one day. But they tell me at this one hearing a couple months ago that they don't have an IT department, so that's why this is like this. And I'm like, the HAVA grant, Help America Vote Again Act, specifically says that the funding that they're giving out, part of the criteria is to have a proper working election complaint process. If we don't have a functioning election complaint process, or just election integrity in general, then what are we doing? I mean, it just blows my mind. Just even the little things. How can you even tweak it? And then I would like to be able to follow along, kind of like can't think of the word. Almost like an upper management. I want to know what they're doing with these cases and how they rule them. I remember she said this, and this to them they say is okay. Election complaint form. Okay. They took the electronic one off, I swear, because I did that little smiley face. I put it right there in the little box and sent it back to them. And they still haven't answered any of those complaints either. They don't answer my complaints. And it's not like the boy who cried wolf, because I'm actually quoting really good Indiana codes. It's over their head is what it is. And then they have to do stuff a certain way. So let me see the complaint. Oh yeah, from where I get stamped and everything, and they don't care. They don't care about my stamps. They don't care. And then sometimes I don't even think that Linda knows who's using her stamp half the time, and it's got her name on it. And you would think I wouldn't let anybody use my seal. I'd want to see it. I would want to know what's going on with it. Okay, I'm looking at this one over here. Pulled this up. This is pretty much a lot of my, okay, that's perfect cutaway into the state. So, I started getting wise about June 2022 because my 2021 stuff hadn't went through yet. And I gave, Mary Rutherford, I gave her the benefit of the doubt so much, but it's like they found a whole bunch of campaign files at the end of last year, like in November or something like that. No, they didn't give us any names, but how are those files just sitting in a corner somewhere and nobody knows about it? So Olivia Pratt helped violate me, and so did Linda Smith, and no one has tried to make it right. And I thought, as adults, we're supposed to make we're supposed to come up with solutions, or, they're supposed to adjudicate my complaints. And the fact that none of it's been adjudicated is a problem. So there's that. So then you go, oh, this is how deep it gets. So what else happened in 2020? Does anybody know? Anybody know? Okay, I'll tell you. 2 other people also had residency issue concerns. Let me show you this one first. So this is 2022, same time during July, in the Indiana Election Board. Co-directors note that the complaint or grievance, if true, may involve election fraud or other illegal acts with respect to the election process. Now, in December 2025, I got the attorney that also stepped down. I can't think of what her name is right now, but she stepped down a few months ago with Brad. I got them to admit that they didn't do anything with my complaint. It got here and it died on somebody's desk or got shredded because they didn't even have a copy of it. Okay. So I'm like, well, how fair is that? So this is where I start getting frustrated about, why are we taking National Guard, United States Army, the military, and sending them overseas when we come home, if we have an issue and we try to, everybody just ignores us. Or they do, oh, a crime happened against you, but it's okay because so-and-so did it, and I did not sign up to help corruption breed and just keep manifesting over and over again. Like, then at the end of the day, it took me a while to figure it out. These are all the rules for the county election board, all the stuff that they did to me broke my violations, but there's one. If I don't see it pop up, I'm going to keep going. Get into the Diego thing, because last week I talked about when Diego, he just filed something against me. Oh, residency issues. Here it is. So after 20, and you can say, go, if you don't believe that my information is accurate, then go request these records for yourself. I highly recommend, if you want to know something about somebody or their vote history, it's public record. They can deny, but most of the time they don't. So right here, so this right here alone should have this should have been a no-brainer in my court case, but they wouldn't even let me talk about the election stuff. And I don't know, but I paid a lot of money. I paid over $25,000 for attorney's fees to save my property, and now I'm upwards of $100,000 in damages, and I'm not going away. So anyway, right here, 5-year gap. So that means that he lied on court record, and then he didn't even vote in Madison County again until 2020. He filed a homestead for his property down here on Rangeline in 2020. Okay, who else had the residency issues? Diego Morales and Kyle Pierce. And who was their buddy? Russ Willis. So of course Russ didn't want to deal with this lawsuit or deal with this case, because then it was going to bump holes in the case of his people. So speaking of which, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up this tab over here, because today has been hectic. I've heard he was going to step down, Diego Morales. Okay, so now we're up to the state top official. The news about Diego Morales' latest scandal is crazy. If I thought all these other scandals he's been through were crazy, going to India with Raju for you selling visas, that was crazy. And then he wouldn't even come off like who helped pay for it. I mean, it's one thing after another. And so I feel like the Republican Party set him up for failure. So I kind of feel bad for him at this point too, because everybody's pulling their support. So what popped up today is the Indiana GOP leaders switch support to Max Engling. And I don't know what to think about that either. I don't really know Max, so I guess I can't really say anything. Indiana. Okay, so you want to go into that story? That is a breaking story, and I don't know how this is going to play out, but it's funny, haha, kind of, because I became a delegate. I beat out Chloe and Agnos. I beat out Jennifer Culp and Todd Culp. And I mean, that was a good run. I may not have got the county seat, but I'm going to run next year, either next year or the year after, for what I really, really want. And then we'll see. I'm not giving up on being a county official. So my haters are waiting for me to fall. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Okay, so another thing that happened, if you didn't know, Diego got banned from the Marion Vote Center. So if you guys don't know about that story, you should look it up. I mean, really, he should be ashamed of some of the stuff that he's allowed to go on. But no, he's not. He's so confident. He decided he was going to stick it out. And I think there's now 4 people on the SOS card for us to vote on in June. The delegates will pick who gets to go on to the November ballot. And I'm favoring Shelton. I just like him. I've never met him. I just like him. And he's already a clerk, so it's not like he doesn't know how to do some of the stuff. So yeah, you got some good reads here. If you don't know the scandals of Diego, I do have one of Diego's coins last year at the 4-H fair when I was trying to be mad and talk to him. He handed me a coin. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see, coins. Coin scandal. Okay, let's go ahead and see what this clip has to say. Because I like this. I like looking at like stuff in action. Oh, might not let me. Did you just clickbait me? I think they clickbaited me. Thanks, Cindy Star. What else we got here? So there's violating the campaign law. Okay, let's see what this one.
I'm Meredith Hagler covering Indianapolis. Back in 2024, Secretary of State Diego Morales visited the Marion County Election Board Service Center where he shot video of his visit. He later used a portion of that video in a campaign ad, which the Marion County Election Board alleges is a violation of the law. This is the video in question. Title IV of Indiana law states no personal use of state property is allowed unless provided by an agency policy that has been approved by the State Ethics Commission. Since Morales had his state staffer shoot the video, the board alleges he violated the law.
We simply asked him to remove a political video, and he didn't do it. We found out they were state resources, and we said, hey, but you need to do this. And he refused again and again.
The Marion County Board invited Morales to its meeting Friday morning to explain his side. He declined. Instead, he claims his campaign team sent this letter on Thursday. The board says it never received it.
There is a set of rules, and there is the rule of law. Everyone is expected to follow it, no matter your position, no matter your title, no matter how important you think you are.
In the letter, Morales claims there is no violation because he first used the video on his official Secretary of State's social media channels in November of 2024. He then used a short clip from that video in a campaign video that was published on his personal social media and campaign website last May. Morales claims the board has no authority, which is why the board is turning its investigation over to the Office of the Inspector General.
This was bad behavior. It was criminal behavior, and just to ignore it and hope that it'll go away is something that seems pretty childish to me.
In Indianapolis, Meredith Hagler, WRTV. I'm Meredith Hagler covering Indiana.
That's just one of many. I mean, you get in here, you can go on a whole rabbit hole just on stuff that he's done. Okay, let me see. No, let's do news. Okay, this one. Can you see it? Yeah, I've been finding a lot of good articles on the Indiana Citizen. Okay. Okay, while in Washington, D.C. this week, Indiana Secretary of State Diego Morales gave officials from the National Association of Secretaries of State challenge coins like that pictured above as a token of his appreciation. I got one of these tokens. So, I mean, I kind of feel like I have a piece of history in my pocket. And at first, so he hands it to me and I couldn't be mad at him. And so I got one and we had a great conversation, but then he still did not send me any emails. He didn't look into any of the election complaints. And I learned later, I got a video of Russ Willis, and that's probably what I'll go out on, is the video of Russ Willis promoting him. But basically, this article says that he used taxpayer money to buy those. This wasn't an out-of-pocket expense. And I just feel like that is something that he should, if you want to hand those out, then by all means, but do it because it's, the right thing, or, pay for it. Don't use taxpayer money. And something just happened and my screen kicked off. So just give me a minute. Get back up here. Okay, let's go to news. Let's just do. Okay, so like I said, we can go down through here, read all these things. I'm sure we'll be talking about this again. It's almost 8:30, and I think I'm going to end on one of these videos that I found not too long ago of Russ Willis supporting Diego, and it was the residency concern. So there's a residency concern issue too. You can look that up. That's what happens when you have too many properties. I think he voted in one place, but he was registered homestead in another. So this is the Secretary of State. They're supposed to follow the rules. They're supposed to know what the rules are. He'd been fired, I think, from the thing at least once already. Maybe twice. From the Secretary of State's office, and then he won the seat. I mean, I don't know. Oh, and the most recent thing, man. The one that hit him like in the last week, it's something to do with one of his staff members. And I'm gonna see. Sorry if I go too fast. I just know I'm looking. This one right here. So this, I'm gonna play this. But I want to see, if you don't follow, and I know he's a controversial commentator too, but he's been posting some good information. Rob Kendall posts good information too. The gods have smiled upon us today. A political commentator's dream fulfilled. Oh, I swear. So Diego Morales is staying in the delegates, or staying in and letting the delegates decide. I'm not voting for him, just so you guys know. I'm not voting. Todd Rakita here pulls his.
Say that as a former Secretary of State, but he's also be more tuned in on it. So the stuff I work with him on, he's done a good job, and I can say that as a former Secretary of State. But he's also had self-inflicted wounds that bring into question his ability to be elected this fall. And I am not one that's going to let, there's such a contrast between the parties right now. It's pretty easy. There's one that's for America. That's one that hates America. There's one that puts Hoosiers first. There's one that puts illegal aliens first. I don't want the party that puts illegal aliens first and everything non-Hoosier first inside the state house. And so I made the statement at this time. I otherwise think is pretty self-explanatory. Also had self-inflicted wounds.
But if you think about it, Diego and Rakita toured together last year. So yeah, so you can come over here. Abdul writes some good stories. But I think he was the one that said Micah Beckwith still hasn't talked. Okay, there's that was dropping out. I mean, who knows? He could still drop out by then. Well, but I guess it wasn't him. Somebody posted. Okay, yep, it was. All right, so the most recent that got everybody up in arms this week was this story about former deputy chief of staff, $160,000. But the issue with her, for more than a year, Secretary Morales has made citizenship verification of Indiana voters his signature issue, handing over the voter file to federal immigration authorities, suing DHS, demanding scrutiny of more than 500,000 registrations. A closer look at the BMV record shows that every Indiana driver's license the state of Indiana has ever issued his deputy chief of staff, Alina, my name's hard, Kupshi, I don't know, 9 of them between February 2014 and April 2026, carries restrictions, 9. The BMV code applied to non-U.S. citizens. I didn't catch that part until right now. Okay, has ever issued her, 9 of them, she wasn't even a U.S. citizen. Oh my goodness. See, snaky snake. None reached the standard 6-year term Indiana issues to citizens. The most recent was issued on April 30th, 2026, the day after she resigned. Asked whether her I-9 employment eligibility verification is on file, the state personnel department would not say it is. Filing deadline. So I'm sorry. No. Oh, look, dang it, Diego. Dang it, Diego. What were you thinking? I don't understand why people think they can get away with all this stuff, bro. Craziness. So I'm going to go out on this right here. Found this little gem.
Hi, I'm Russ Willis, Madison County Republican Chairman. I've been asked why I would endorse Diego Morales for Secretary of State. There's a multitude of reasons. Number one, he is the prime example of the American dream. He came to this country, became a citizen, learned our language, became educated. He has 2 MBAs. He's an Army veteran. He works tirelessly for Republican politics. He goes to Lincoln Day dinners. I'm sure you've seen him at several.
Yeah, he wants your money, Russ.
He's a grassroots political guy, but he understands
the
government and how it needs to operate. He wants to give back to this country, which is given to him so much.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
honest. He has the highest integrity that you can have. He understands the job of Secretary of State.
Okay, after what I just showed you on that other page, if you believe anything that he's saying right now about Diego, I have beachfront property in Fiji. I'll sell you for $19.95. There you go. Why are you playing?
Integrity, the financial aspects, the business aspects. He knows how to work a campaign to win.
He knows how to work the people.
And I wholeheartedly endorse Diego Morales for Secretary of
I
State.
do not endorse him. I will not vote for him in June. So
Fine.
everybody knows. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'm out. Enjoy your Thursday. Rest of your night. I don't know if I'll be on this weekend or not. And Monday is my birthday. So if I don't see you between now and then, we will be at the Anderson Public Library next week. Next Thursday, it'll be a public podcast again. So I hope a lot of you guys can tune into that. I don't know what we'll be discussing. Probably Christensen. Hopefully Catherine can come and participate with us. Watch our Facebook pages. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And with that, I'm out, folks. Shalom.